that we can pivot a little bit in draft, but we also had a very real shot of winning that game.
Oh yeah.
It's not like it was unplayable. It's not like the counter pick from Gen G was so pivotal that it ended up being a really big detriment. I'd argue that the counter pick didn't really matter that much. Obviously, Tristana came kind of out of nowhere, but that alone isn't really going to convince us that we need to swap sides. So T1, I wonder if they still open up with the Azir. Faker has definitely been very happy to play make, but on the Nico, it felt like the impact was a little bit more hit as opposed to hit or miss like it was with the Azir.
Yeah. And I think he still found a few of those plays, and you can understand that Faker pretty keen to go back to it and find some redemption this time around. It might be that they're going to be facing down a very different composition, or a very similar composition, because this is looking very similar to game number 1. So Varus would be the lock-in, and Rakan would come in next, and immediately Canyon is going to take that one away. If we're following suit, it wouldn't be legit. It would have been the Lee Sin. We're going to need a draft redo, because that was supposed to... never mind.
Jim Bard is really good.
Jim Brad, a classic.
We are very split on this casting desk about whether or not this constitutes a good bot lane. I personally like...
I like Bard.
I like both.
Oh.
I think that Jhin does actually provide a great amount of activity with the Bard. You can follow up on the stun very nicely. You can follow up on the ultimate very easily. Bard also really strong into the immobile carry on the opposing end. And that is the same for Yone. Chovy sees an opportunity and grabs it. Jhin is not going to have a great time facing off against this Yone come mid to late game. And it really is feeling like so much of what bot lane is supposed to offer, even though we did see the Aphelios games, I feel like the Aphelios Milio combination is kind of the exception. It's just been about what utility can you offer, right? And I do think in that light, the Varus makes sense. Probably going to be poke Varus again, although maybe he wants to go on hit depending on whether or not T1 is going to go heavy on the front line. So it depends on whether we see an Udyr ban here, I think. If Gen G are saying, don't really care too much about that one, or we don't want to deal with it.
Well, Poppy going to be the final ban here on Gen G's side. Understandable, there are a couple of dashes that are pretty important here on the side of Gen G. Of course, Lehens has a very bad time against the Poppy. So not going to see that one. I like that T1 pivoted to banning really old junglers that have been kind of phased out from what we've seen so far in 2024.
Maokai next, right?
Because like that is the vibe that Canyon's really been going with. It's almost like Coach Kim took a timeout in 2022 and just went back to his notebook that he was like in the middle of writing at the beginning of 2022, and he's just like back to it. May as well go for it. Well, the Nocturne going to be taken away here, and Udyr going to be considered and picked up here for Keen. He's the one that gets to have a good time this time around, and it's now time to delve into his solo queue to see what he's been purchasing on the Udyr. Is he going to be yet another secondary Udyr player in a series that builds one singular damage item and does a singular bit of more damage?
I don't want to be that guy, but the only players that have gotten POG so far are mid laners. And you know who the one exception is? And you know why? Because he built... Rift. No. Cannon comes out...
You almost...
Not even going to finish the joke. Cannon comes out here, one of Zeus' comfort champions, and obviously should have a really good time. Bel'Veth, I think, in theory is really strong, but we've seen the Bel'Veth really struggle come mid to late game with the, I want to say, effectively zero amount of mistakes you could make on the pick while still having a big impact. But early on, you can be a menace, and I think T1 really playing more akin to the draft we saw in game number 1, where it's very much about the early game prio turning that into substantial leads. What is Canyon gonna pick? Because if he picks Maokai again, it would make sense, but it would make me very sad. I want to see something that matches this, and we know he has a deep champion pool, but this is the new Canyon, everyone. He is playing with Chovy, he is playing with, I guess King is also playing a tank, he's playing with pace, he knows his place, and it is playing Maokai for the second game in a row.
He is being a tree. He is. The ults were good though, and they won, so I don't know, you can't really fault it.
No, you can't.
You may not like it, but this is what Peak Canyon looks like, you know?
Yeah!
I do like the massive change-up in everything except for mid lane for T1. Really is a very different looking composition. This time, Zeus going to be dash cannoning in to try and get everything done. As Coach Kim and Tom going to bow to one another. Of course, Coach Kim formerly on T1 for a little stint. Has, of course, been with many, many teams here in the LCK. It was kind of odd that he wasn't here last year or for most of 2022. Has come back. As is that at like Lehen's shrine?
I don't know, but it was great. I loved it.
That was definitely a strange thing. Is that Keria holding up a Gen G player?
No, I thought it said Oner on the back, but maybe it was Chovy because it didn't look yellow.
Yeah, it did look yellow.
Yeah.
Maybe it might have been Chovy. They did used to play together. There's something there. Not entirely sure. Kind of fun T1 composition though. They have a lot of damage. Sort of carries coming out of everywhere. I mean, even Brad should be building rapid fire cannon. Am I right? Long range meep slap. You love to see it. Gen G, a little bit more stock standard on the composition. Let's see how it goes. We hop onto the rift for game 3. All right, the Gen G fans trying to be as loud as possible. They are a little bit outnumbered here at Lowell Park today. Didn't stop them from taking a victory in game number 2. We'll see whether they can use that momentum to move towards a victory. Keen, his last game was on Udyr as, oh dearie me, that's a flash from Keria. He's still on fire. Hail of Arrows comes down. Lots of flashes coming in. He's underneath this turret, and there is first blood for FaZe. Chovy taking 1 billion damage. They will be able to secure it. So, sweet 400 gold going over to FaZe. He's going to be feeling very good about that.
And
can he go back and buy a World Atlas immediately?
That's the second game in a row where Keria is forced to flash early on. Not really respecting the potential invade, gets punished very, very aggressively. Now, there was a sacrifice that had to be made for this. Chovy joining the play did mean he has to teleport back to lane. So Faker might be trying to play very aggressively towards an attempted early back force. As yeah, very straightforward, even with bone plating and the flash and a nice Q. Unfortunately, not going to be able to actually stay alive throughout it all. But Lehens has to back and Chovy has to back. And FaZe also backed, wanting to use the money that he has available. So I think immediately T1 might not be in the worst of spots, but it's definitely going to be a big gold swing towards the opposing side. And particularly with Lethality Varus, him getting accelerated, can make your early to mid game very obnoxious.
I also think that Jhin Bard, while it's a really good lane, I feel like it can be a bit swingy. Yeah. Here and there, because Bard in general is a champion that benefits a lot from having control. You know, you can set up your cups of cocoa and get things the way that you want to, but I think the Keria might be able to just orchestrate that eventually anyway. We all know what he's capable of. His Cosmic Bindings, the one from Worlds that we all remember, absolutely extraordinary. Getting that Q flash to really line up. We'll see whether he can provide that magic after a difficult early start to this one, as Oner just floating around. Doesn't know that there is a kitty cat in the brush. Last time we saw the Bel'Veth was a long time ago. In fact, Umpty was the last one to play it. Now no longer in the LCK as Faker has to flash. Evening out the flash count here are Gen G. And Gumayusi realizing that FaZe doesn't have a whole lot of friends, but he's not going to win that trade. My goodness, that piercing arrow really doing a lot.
It's like Lehens never left, still staying in mid for an unreasonable amount of time. Keria is joining him as well, as we do see Chovy's win rate on Yone, unsurprisingly, absolutely insane. And also Guma went for Dark Harvest, so we'll be going, which was to be expected. Lethality has been the main flavor for the Jhin, but Dark Harvest you really ensure that it is really going to be all about that long range. So both Guma and FaZe going to be looking to try and get the most value while not getting in range of any of the mean Bel'Veths or Yones or Udyrs or Zeus on the enemy team.
Yeah.
As we're just 2v2ing mid now, I guess.
Yeah, seems to be the thing. It's an odd one. As we get Keria to move on in here as well. Canyon is going to be fighting against Oner, who is a little bit outnumbered. As Lehens and Chovy moving on in. Scryer's Bloom show exactly what's going on. Ziggin and Zaggin is Oner trying to get himself safe, but it's just not going to work out. Knocked up and destroyed Canyon going to be able to grab that one. That is going to be the second kill for Gen G. I almost said first blood because, you know, Keria dying at level 1 there, not to be expected. That is 2 early kills here for Gen G.
And an attempt from T1. I don't know if it was trying to bait Gen G into some early play that didn't work out, or if they thought that they had the man advantage because Keria was there. I think Lehens was still on vision as Canyon. He's not done. Zeus.
He is a
tempo.
Tree on a mission. You can't lightning rush out of that one as Keen is relatively low, but there is a big old fiery storm around that small lightning rat, and he's going to be taken down. 3 now for Gen G.
Atlas, this is 80 Cannon. He went lethal tempo and Berserker Greaves.
Oh, that's even better. Isn't that, it's perfect, isn't it? You know, Reckless comes to Korea.
It has to
and
be.
now we're building 80 cannons all over the place.
We're mid 2v2ing still.
Yeah, I guess. It's a weird and wonderful time here. Day 1, 2024, LCK Spring. As I have confirmation, BB from the Spanish League actually tweeted to me saying that they're Kevins. So
they're Kevins.
They're Kevins. It's the handshake between Korea and Spain. Kevins.
Kevins.
So there's the confirmation.
All right.
And I like it. I don't know. It just feels good.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I think the sheer creativity of it all is enough to convince me personally. Faker being back to lane, Oner will be able to pick up, but this is a trade we've been seeing a lot of, and I like the Kevins. I think they're cool. I don't know if they're really worth it yet. I think that remains to be seen as Drake gets taken, and we have literally only good Drakes still left on the table.
Ooh.
There's no bad opportunities. There is Cloud, there is Infernal, there's Hex. It's all good. Love it.
A lovely time. As far as dragons are concerned, first dragon has been on the losing side. I'm pretty sure it's still the case, unless it's just moved back to 50-50. I can't remember what happened in Game 2. Wasn't really keeping track of who took what. But I'm pretty sure if you start on the Kevins, not the dragon, then you do stand to lose statistically more often. That's what I'm leaning towards. As Chovy sweeping up some minions, as he is wont to do. Belveth doing her best to stay really far ahead in farm. That is what she's going to continue to do, as Keria is going to get engaged on. Over the wall goes Canyon, and Keria, I don't know whether he's getting out of this one. The ulti comes in, and Chovy says, thank you so much for our 4th one of the game. 1-0-2 on the Oner as well, as now even Gumayusi has to exit. Look at this gank squad. It's like Canyon and Lehens have been born to play with one another, you know, just roaming the rift. Looking to lock people down.
They needed to synchronize. Okay, that's what the first 2 games were for.
It was calibration.
Calibration. Linking up, Atlas. That's what we were waiting for. And right now, Gen G, 1K gold lead, looking quite good now. Of course, you know, by no means an unsurmountable lead. T1 still have a lot of tools available to them. Particularly, I think, when it comes to those mid-game skirmishes. But with Gen G is the one pulling the trigger first, they actually see change not fair. Like,
oh no, it's really
between Maokai, Varus, Yone, and Rakan, you're not playing the game.
And the amount of safety that they have with this Unbound Soul, you saw
Canyon
Chovy just walks forward and says, Oni, you're not going home. You're staying here. 4 versus 3. A magical journey is going to come on through. They're just leaving Gumayusi to die, and he will do so. Chains of Corruption come in. Oner gonna try and dash his way out. Has a zag left, but it's the wrong direction still. He will be alive. Faker gonna take some plates, but there are 2 that go down on the bottom side of the map as well. Chovy deals with them. 2-0-0 on the lethality Varus as well here. 4 pays. I'm gonna have a look at it one more time. This, I mean, the first couple of games, neck and neck. It was talking about macro and all these plays and stuff. This is just chaos.
They're actually playing so proactive, and what is really, really telling to me is Chovy is just leaving lane. Like, it's not like he's shoving out a wave. Faker is just there, dealing with the wave as Canyon makes sure that Keria and Oner don't get off too easily. Oner is able to use his dashes to not get caught by Lehens, but they just left Guma there, man. They left him alone.
Yeah.
He's just a poor Jin underneath the turret. He doesn't get to take a journey.
And if this was the Challenger broadcast, I'd say a whole lot of things, but I'm not going to. because I've decided to be a professional, and all champions are great.
Jin's not the problem. It's the fact that Lahens has been roaming around the map and has been having a colossal impact. And Chovy and Kenyon as well.
And Keria's been trying to match, but it just doesn't seem to be working quite as well as Lahens being unlocked. And we've spoken about this. When Lahens was on Gen G in the past, when he was on KT, you unlock Lahens, and you unlock the team's ability to make plays and make moves around this map. He was more famous for it on champions like Leona, but he's done it on his Rakan before in the past as well. He's done it on his Blitzcrank. He's done it on Singed. Although not to as much success, to be perfectly honest.
Hey, any second, Ayumi, we'll get back into the meta and we'll go back to that.
It's actually not true. His Singed was stupidly successful, actually. So I tell a lie there. As Oner looking for some grubs, some Kevins. Getting to work here. Zeus going to move on down. Lahens has found a position here as they get a knock-up onto Canyon. He's pretty tanky, but Oner now... Oh, he's given a magical journey. There it is! Canyon picks up that kill as Chovy's in trouble. Gets a shield, tries to get out, and he does! Oh my goodness! But the Kevins go to T1. And that is definitely a big deal. Ignore this if you're a T1 fan, because that means that it's going to be a very dangerous Varus on the bottom side of the map. But getting Kevin's control is certainly good.
So yeah, that's cool, but what happened with the magical journey is question number one. I'm not so sure. And secondly, Paze is gonna get a full turret Atlas.
Yeah.
He's 20 CS, 2 kills. I don't even want to know how many plates up against his direct opponent.
Oh my goodness, the full thing. Oh, okay. Well, Keen now gonna get on top of Zeus to the best of his ability. Looks like Keen going for the same build as well.
Yeah,
it makes me a little bit sad.
So the one thing I do think is important to note is that unlike normal Cannon, which especially early on, the poke is extremely obnoxious to deal with, and it can be really impressive. We'll talk about 2.1.
God,
I know you don't like Jin, and you know what? I don't think it was his fault, but in this game, we're not going to be seeing a whole lot more of this Jin. We're not. I don't think we're going to see it.
Yeah, the plague, the thing plaguing Jin, which is a lot of losing, looks to be continuing here, unless something really, really good can happen. Because Gumayusi is a great Jin player.
He not only that, but he is also one of the AD carries that in this scenario can actually provide utility.
True.
You know, even though he's really far behind his counterpart. So maybe that's enough, but
and they have 2 other attack speed scaling champions, 3 other attack speed scaling champions on the team.
Yeah, but so this 80 cannon, right? In theory, what happens is you build enough tank shredding items and then you just chew through Keen's health bar. But there is already 1 frozen heart on the enemy team, which against the 0 has a lot of value. And there's going to be probably another frozen heart once Keen finishes his.
Yeah.
So I'm not feeling super. But I'm happy we get to see new champions. You know, we get Udyr and now we get AD Cannon. That's cool.
Yeah.
But is it good?
We also get to see Maokai.
Well, yeah, I'm not...
Awesome. He's got a bomb.
I'm genuinely impressed by the level of professionalism that you can say that without really the sarcasm.
I'm trying real hard, I'm not going to lie.
No, you're doing a great job.
For those that were watching the Challenger broadcast yesterday, yes, they can tell that there is certain opinions that I have on some champions, warranted and not. To be we all have those things.
We all have
we're all irked by certain things. For me, it's Jin karma. You know, that's what has really bothered me, and I lean more towards the Jin side of it that gets on my nerves. That's fine. It's fine. It's more personal, though, so I'm going to try and keep that one to myself. Says after speaking about it solidly for 15 minutes.
Rift Herald is about to be up, and I don't think there's going to be a contest possible here for T1. They're going to need a miracle. Like, we're looking at Faker finding a multi-man shuffle, but who are your actual targets for a shuffle? And really, it's just Paze.
Yeah, and Paze is a lot of the money. Chains of Corruption comes in, gets a fade away as Gumayusi. Not going to be auto range, and that does mean that he...
Left hands! What was that?
Look, don't question Lance.
He just flashed! He didn't even flash Ignite!
No, he just flashed. It's sending a message.
What message?
The message is, I don't need flash.
He doesn't have X-Flash, Atlas.
No, but he doesn't need it. He's like, no, I don't need this.
Oh, Lahens. He's just so Lahens. He's just...
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes you just don't question it and you move forward. 4,000 gold the lead here for Gen.G. Our first Hextech Dragon of the game going to be coming up, and the first of the series, I'm pretty sure, unless there was one lonely Hextech at the beginning of Game 1. I don't quite remember. But 1.5 minutes till Drake number 3 for Gen.G, or the first for T1 is going to spawn. We're really going to need to see a bit of recalibration here from T1. Try and get this game back in order.
I think this series being the first series between, like, that both these two teams play is really funny, because it's going to be really easy to draw grand conclusions.
Oh yeah.
Whereas I think I want to go back to the interview that they gave at the beginning, which is both of these just being like, these players that we're going to be playing against are all really good, and I'm really excited to play them. And I know we'll get to play them a lot, because let's be honest, what is the expected outcome for Spring Finals?
Yeah,
who do you think are going to face? It's these two.
Yes, it's Gen.G T1. I mean, it's the inevitability of the LCK.
It just keeps happening, man. So I prefer to look at it in that way. I think that would have said the same thing if Gen.G, right, would have been in a position where they are right now, or where T1 is right now, where it's looking kind of rough in the third games. Chovy.
Bit of a knock-up onto Chovy. He's going to return the favor in kind as he flashes on top of Oner, who goes stabby-stabby for a little while, and Keria says, let's take a pause. That is going to come in. The curtains are called here by Gumayusi, but he's not finding too many of them. Keen turns up, and good night, Keria. He's going to pay for his sins. Faker does find the Emperor's Divide. T1 are on the board. They figured it out, but Gumayusi is well and truly dead, and Oner, he gets away, but at what cost? As Canyon is going to drive his Rift Herald into the mid-outer turret, and everything is just falling down. A couple of charges here, and Gen.G are just plowing through the map here of T1.
They're also they're looking really good to pick up the Hextech Drake here. Not actually able to get the actual turret towards the bottom half of the map, but they are able to get mid. They're able to get the mid inner thanks to the charge of Canyon. And they do substantial damage to the inner, and I would be shocked if T1 can get themselves towards this Drake. And this is the problem with the T1 comp. Once it is behind, it doesn't feel great. And normally you have like, but what if cannon? But it says 80 cannon.
Chains of Corruption. Stabby might need to be employed as Oner is just going to go down. That is the kill going over to Lehens, I believe, with a tick of Ignite. Just can't really get into his jungle, unfortunately.
Yeah, Belvev, another example of a champion that when you start falling behind, just starts feeling worse and worse. As I think T1 looking for these type of sideline picks is definitely the way to go. I don't think you're going to actually win a 5v5 with the deficit you're already in. But it just isn't enough, right? Like, look at how much they actually invest here. A curtain call comes out. They're sending everyone towards the top side of the map. And it's just...
Oh, no.
This version doesn't even hurt Chovy.
Yeah, and then Gumayusi gets flanked by Lehens.
Yeah.
And then stabbed. Not a good time. As Gen.G clear up the inner turret on the bottom side of the map. T1 trying to grab themselves a cross map. Keen is here with a big angry circle. And he'll at least be able to deal with the minions. Zeus and Keria taking a magical journey to get out. But Gen.G, man, they have come into this one with a whole lot of vengeance. Feels like they needed a bit of a warm-up. Things are looking pretty good now.
Domestic Gen.G, man.
It's
not the same
a good
team.
look. But it's also, yeah, this is the thing. Like, have we... I don't think I haven't got enough. I don't have enough tape yet. You know, I know it went to 3 games, and I can't expect more than that, but I just really want to see more from this team, because super teams have been a dangerous thing to utter.
Yeah,
you know, like ever since KT,
all right,
2018, it's just a...
Can we put it to a vote? Just make it a best of 5. No one will mind.
Oh, that's true. G-Sun, are you there?
Can we chat? Can we make it happen?
Can we talk to the commissioner of the LCK and just ask for
two
conversion to best of 5? That'd be really cool.
Please. We got the okay.
Yeah, she's
gonna ask.
She's gonna ask. So G-Sun's on it. Trying to get a little bit more out of this one, because we can get some silver scrapes on day 1 of the LCK. Wouldn't that be dope?
Yeah. That would be dope, Atlas.
Yeah, I reckon the players would
this
probably be upset about it.
I don't think this one got a whole lot more in it.
No.
We'll see. Yeah, T1 has won games from worse positions, but not often. And you know, as far as deficits go, You generally shouldn't be able to win games from these positions. It's kind of how League is played.
And it's also like the composition from Gen.G doesn't open a lot of doors. As Lehens, speaking of which, is just going to look for Oner here. He is able to dish, dash, and dive away.
Nice. Oh, wait.
Fate comes in. Nature's Grasp comes down as well as Faker does find the scoop onto Canyon, but he's not exactly the optimal target as Lehens is slinking away. Zeus finds it. With the last Q, the Shuriken will pick up Lehens there. So his first death of the game. Surprising, to be perfectly honest. And Oner now going to grab himself a little bit of an upgrade there with the Scuttle Crab going down. So some positives coming out here for T1, but they have to work so hard for that one. They're going to have to need a whole lot more of that if they want to get back into this game. As Oner once again finding himself in an awkward position. Chovy not quite finding the ult though. We'll have to go back to the Soul.
I mean, this is how it starts. You know, it starts with a pick-off left or right.
Yeah.
Lehens giving up a bounty. Faker getting some gold, and before you know it, no, I don't believe yet, but it is something. As now Cleaver done here for Oner. We're taking a look at this play. Pace's general play on Varus, I think, has been awesome. His ults have been...
Chains of Corruption have been a little bit, you know...
They've been hit or miss. The real...
2012 yellow Pace.
The hidden POG here, or what really sells this for me is Canyon's ultimate, right? Like, I know we have gotten really sick of how incredibly impressive Maokai is. I'm pretty sure there is some bad things about to happen to T1 members.
Yeah, Oner is just he's flapping away. Yeah, he realizes that there's nothing he's really going to be able to do about this one. Faker is going to die. Paze now could be in trouble though, as the Tempered Fate not going to land on top of him, but that's Oner collecting the kill.
Hey?
That is a big old amount of gold for the shutdown as well.
And hey, do note, there is actually a way for Faker to get immediately back to the fight in 25 seconds. When he's up, he can TP back. Whereas for Pace, that isn't the case. That's big.
Yeah, true.
This sounds like, and we joke, but it was a, what, 8K, between 6 and 7K gold lead?
It was.
It's getting smaller. You know, 2 more bounties, 1 on Chovy, 1 on Canyon.
And I think a lot of it will come down to what happens at the next dragon that's going to be spawning any moment from now, as we have a look at Faker getting picked, but the more important pick is Paze going down, right? Because he is the one holding all of that gold. He's the one that has the bounty. As Keria was actually the one that started this one off by walking into the darkness, but he gets out. Paze not so lucky.
Jhin value as well.
Oh, love to see it. That's all right, T1 trying to deny this one. This is Hextech Soul, this is big. As Keen gets in there, Magical Journey to get them out. Somehow it's Keria that secures the Drake.
Big win, 41.
Just trying to, was that just a meep slap? Bard's overpowered?
Gotta imagine it was. Even without him going for the rapid fire cannon, still doing great here.
Love to see it.
And Gen.G still in a firm lead, still have a really strong 5v5, but starting to be on the receiving end of a couple of small losses now, not really turning into anything big yet. But the gold can swing extremely quickly if they lose like one fight where they lose 2 members, T1 doesn't lose anything, and they give up a turret or 2. There's bounties on the map.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing.
Really got to be careful to not give T1 an angle back into this game. Still don't think that is the case, but one pick, you know, Canyon going down, Chovy going down, could happen. Looks like Chovy has not let go of his ways, seemingly going towards a more, at least semi-tanky build. We'll see what that Chain Vest is going to end up turning into. Already has his...
he at least has Shield Bow instead of going straight Sunfire Cape second.
Yes, which is big. Opportunity here again for Pace.
Yeah, Swifties as well. You love them. I'm just a huge Swifties fan, so very happy about that.
Same.
Keen with the cowl completed on his Udyr. So 2 items also for both Oner and Zeus. Zeus starting to get to the point where he is going to be a auto-attack machine.
Do you go Shiv?
I don't know.
Kind of. I'm curious to see what he'll end up going.
He used to. The 80 cannons that we used to see used to be Shiv.
Yeah, because
that was when everyone who could build Shiv
could
build Shiv.
Because I imagine you don't want to use your E to wave clear, because it is also your best escape tool, but we'll see what Zeus ends up going with.
Oh, lands possibly caught out, but no, it does have the grand exit. It's out of the way of Oner. Gen.G still with map control, still with 5 turrets to 1, which is a very big thing here. Captive Audience going to be procced here by Lehens. They are just going to clear out these traps, clear out these wards, try and make the map as dark as possible. I think getting towards a Baron, trying to take that one down, is going to be important here as Keen moving towards this bottom side. But the Baron damage isn't super high for Gen G.
Oh. I'd argue it's low, in fact, because they don't have Keen, and even if they do, he's not building any of his Keria.
Oh, Keria could just be caught out here, and there he goes. Chovy collects it. Once again, just finding these pickoffs are Gen G. Looks like they've gotten back off onto the front foot once again. As Gumayusi actually moving towards Lehens once again. That knock-up not going to land. That's T1. Find some vision once again. And Keen, just in a side lane. Being frustrating. So
I'm just contemplating whether or not Udyr is good. Because I know he's good early.
Yes.
Like that we figured out. But does he do enough?
I think he's great. He's got the claw again.
The claw, yeah. So your first association with the claw is the Toy Story one.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine would be. I mean, I'm a big Jim Carrey fan, so.
I mean,
Liar is the first one.
No, I completely understand. And Liar, great film. But that's just where my brain went first.
No, it's. I mean, you can't control where your first association
I definitely can't. I can't control where my brain goes ever.
That's very true. As it pays actually is almost 3 times the damage that Guma has done. Guma has definitely been on the receiving end of a lot of pain, has been focused down aggressively, and Keria has, I think, been struggling the most on T1 together with Oner in this specific game as Keen finds Zeus.
But Keria does have Magical Journey. Is going to get a stun down there as well, as Keen getting shot quite a few times, and there it is. Gumayusi going to lock that one down, and Keen is a little bit too far forward with none of the rest of his team anywhere near to provide any sort of support, some value for this Bard as well. That Magical Journey allowing the response time for T1 to be so much accelerated. Good to see, as Faker has a Lich Bane. Everyone just wants to do auto attacks really good for T1. That's what I'm noticing.
That's the first time that we've seen that in as far as I can remember, on specifically, like outside of...
Weren't we asking for it on Azir yesterday?
I don't know.
Just because there was someone that was just split pushing all game?
It was a joke, because if you're like teleporting in, trying to, you know, kill a base, then yeah, Lich Bane makes a lot of sense. But as a main item on Azir, interested to see where this will go. And right now, in about 8 seconds, the possible soul will spawn. This is a must-win fight for T1. They're still 6.5k gold almost behind. Keen is back. Gen G have control. T1 don't deny this. Winning the game is going to be really, really hard.
Yep. Vision going to be cleared here as Oner looking to rotate around. Keria has already dove over the top with these Hex Gates as in goes Lehens. He finds Gumayusi, who immediately explodes. Nature's Grasp to come down as well. This is a guaranteed Hex Tech Soul, and T1 do not want to be around to see it. They're going to vacate the area immediately. Beautiful turn there by Gen G, and they are looking to now just move over to this Baron and look to lock that one down as well. 5v4 should mean they'll have enough control to grab that one for themselves, but looking for a reset first.
And it's Lehens, the Joker of the Rift, that finds himself the flank there.
Is he the POG vote?
For me, right now, yeah, I would say so. I think that his early impact has been the big difference maker here. And also, when you look at the head-to-head, it's night and day in this specific game.
Lehens is flashing in. There's the Tempered Fate. He just moves out of the way of it. Nicely done there to try and keep himself alive. Avoids the ulti from Chovy. He's dead, but he has avoided some stuff, and it looked kind of cool.
Yeah. But he does die again. And that should be an opportunity to go for the Baron now. Maybe we can see Zeus pick up a bounty or two here, but Gen G can be really happy. Going according to game plan.
Yeah, already getting started on it.
Levels up. He has Axiom Arc.
Yeah, I mean...
That's not a new item, but you wouldn't know it. TP coming in.
Yeah, let's see whether T1 can mount any sort of defense. As in goes Chovy, unbinds the soul, and says goodnight to the cannon. Faker clearing out vision where he can, but I don't think he's going to be able to swoop in and do anything here, as the Belveth has a blast cone available, gets into the pit somehow, and nails it! Okay, all right, Oner. Yes, you have the better smite button, 100%. He's going to be able to secure that one for T1, and you can see a little fist bump there as well. We'll have to see how much it actually means for the outcome of the game, but if T1 stay alive in this, I think that moment had almost everything to do with it.
They're not letting go, Atlas. They're clinging on to the game.
I don't even believe
like,
that happened.
It was at 3k health. Like, what happened? What did that much damage to Baron? Did they just use skills and kill it?
I guess Oner may have just done stabby and smoke.
Oh yeah, okay, but he's one Bel'Veth. One Bel'Veth can't do 3k health in a second as Zeus gets unceremoniously dunked on. Just absolutely demolished.
All right, let's check it out. So how did all that damage happen? So 3k, it just got down to 79 HP and smoked it.
79.
So there you go. And you heard the shriek of the crowd here as well. That one gets taken down. Lahens is in a position on the map. It turns out that it was not a position that was very good for him to be in.
This game is going places, Atlas.
This game is going. That is absolutely true. Chovy is golden, and yeah, he's looking in a bit of trouble. Nature's Grasp to try and save him. Some flashes forward here as he gets a shield, but he is still going to go down, and Oner will possess him now. Looking for some knockups onto Canyon, and starting to unravel a little bit for Genji. Oh my, what? Hello? Pays? It's a lot of damage. But he needs to land a whole lot more of those. And Genji going to have to get their hands back on the steering wheel once again.
So I want to draw attention, which we'll talk about the state of the game a little bit. The cool new item that Zeus has bought, which is Terminus, which allows you to both get bonus armor and magic resist, while then on the other end, like you have alternating.
Yeah, it's the alternating thingy, right?
Yeah, so you build up armor pan and magic resist, which obviously you have a lot of magic damage still. As yeah, this is Lahens just way too fun. Look at the rest of his team as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he was, but it's Lahens, so
yeah, it's Lahens. And then Keria trying to redeem himself for what has been a rough game. Chovy has flash, so he flashes that, he's completely fine, but he really wants to hold on to it, pays for it with his life, and that's 2 picks in rapid succession going the way of T1.
And that's 1,000 gold to Oner as well, and he is a legitimate carry threat on this team.
Yeah.
He's got so much farm, as we can see. And building towards a GA for the 4th item. Having a look at the trough of Genji's gold advantage, it is eking back towards T1, and it's only 3,000 gold. There is still Hextech Soul in the hands of Genji, but it's a 3,000 Baron power play here for T1 as it does tick off, and that is a large swing back.
Oh, we might be heading towards an Elder Flip, Atlas.
Oh, baby.
Gold's going to be basically even after this inner falls. Yeah, that's a slight gold lead for Genji, but it doesn't
Look at the little mini
at this point.
Little mini Kevins running after the next possible turret. Beautiful.
It's in a minute. It's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
It's the flip. It's on its way. But looking at the bottom jungle, I think Genji is feeling pretty good about it, because they do have a somewhat unreasonable amount of control in this Keria.
I guess it's fine. Yeah, Genji just going to run away from him. There's Chains of Corruption, and he's dead.
Not fine.
No, he's not.
Take it back.
He is not fine, and Pays is gold, and then he is not.
This is a calibration game, Atlas. That's what we're witnessing.
Yeah,
both teams are calibrating.
The Joy-Cons are not working. We're going to need to go into the settings.
You got to like take them off and then and then put them back.
Yeah. The old machine, the cartridge needs.
You got to
take it out and blow it.
Yeah,
put it back.
There's dust in there.
Yeah.
Something's not working right.
It's not working. Oh dear. Yeah, no, certainly some calibration on both ends.
It's new season, new me
100%.
for everyone. As now Genji's pushing with 5 people in the mid lane, setting up for Elder.
And T1 is pushing with 2 people in the top lane. Setting up for killing a top lane turret.
Yeah, but they're going to lose Elder, which they know. They have double TP. So Zeus and Faker can join at a moment's notice, but there is 0 control. There is 1 ward. Are they going to try to just force
this turret
the end?
goes down really fast. And
yeah,
look at the Kevin,
man.
Genji are a little bit perplexed as to what to do. They're going to lose the inhibitor. So inhib, traded for an inhib. But the Elder is right here.
Okay, they're trying to set up a bait. Oh, they don't want to go, but they do!
There's the flash forward with the quickness. Chains of Corruption comes in, Tempered Fate to buy some space, but Oner is, very close to taking Lehens with him, but he will go down. And now, Chovy diving on forward. Keen is a brick wall, but he cannot withstand it for too long, with Faker and Zeus having some deadly autos to come on in there. There's the ulti, the sweep comes in from Faker, and he finds the kill onto the Udyr. Lehens has turned up yet again, and Pays, he just does so much damage. My goodness, you blink and you lose him. As the Elder is getting very angry. Teleport to come forward as Gumayusi Keria. I don't think they're going to be able to do this by themselves. The rest of their team are dead. Chovy and Canyon.
That it?
They are looking to take this one down. Lehens and Pays hot on their heels. So it will be the Elder. Exodia on the table. 15 seconds until Baron. They'd like to grab that one as well. And it's looking like Gen G might be able to take this first matchup against T1.
That's just cruel. Baron has to watch as Elder gets taken knowing he's next.
Yeah, so T1 don't have a choice, right? They have to walk into unwanted territory here because there's one of two scenarios. Either you don't walk in and they get Elder, or you do walk in and hope that you can maybe do something. And if you fall for the trap, you fall for the trap. Faker and Zeus try their best, but as soon as they're on top of the cannon, he just goes down in a matter of seconds. With the Hextech quick rotations, or the Hextech Rift or the quick rotations, no problem whatsoever. And with Elder there, T1 just has to sit and turtle, can't actually match. And you know what, maybe a death cap on Faker is going to be something. They do stall for a little bit here, but this is just a timeout and Elder buff.
Do you think that Lehens bought a Force of Nature just to show everyone that he is in fact a Force of Nature?
Really the only explanation that makes sense to me, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Well, he's also, yeah, because he's only playing into
Auto attack
Faker.
champions.
Well, they do have double first nard as well, so they're covering all bases, so they always come out on top. As a Rebel Baron power play here from Gen G, starting off at just 1500. We'll see what they're able to do. Mid lane inhib is down, but that alone is not going to be enough, because Gen G still need to actually win the game.
Oh yeah.
And they only have a minute left on the buff that I think is the most important. Because
well,
the wave clear is
they have to
really
win 2 more games, right? Because this is a best of 5 now.
Oh yeah, very good point.
We had the confirmation.
Well, no, she was going to ask. We didn't get confirmation that was going to happen.
We have. She forgot.
Okay.
So Jisun just let us know she has forgotten.
Well, this game
will now go and get confirmation.
Yeah, this game has been good though.
Yeah, and this game has at least 20 minutes left. At least.
A lot of twists.
She's got heaps of time. Heaps of time. Now, as Keen making his way out of base, he has got some items. A lot of them providing him with...
Death kept on for Faker. Crypt Bloom there as well.
Whoa. They are likely going to lose
30
this.
seconds.
The amount of siege potential is just absurd. You have Nature's Grasp available. It's so hard to engage onto Gen G. See whether T1 can find any sort of way.
20 seconds.
Well, Oner down so incredibly low. And yeah, like you're talking about, it's all about the Elder. You engage onto that, and you just can't really do anything about it. As, a possible pickup onto Chovy has to flash away. Lehens is going to be taken down. Zeus now with the ultimate ticking. He does fall down, but the Empress Divide comes in. Keen is just gigantic. It's very difficult to take him down as Canyon's going to be eviscerated. Pays does a lot of damage, but he needs a frontline, and T1 hold on. Faker, I told you, 20 minutes, Chronicler.
Faker can teleport towards the top wave, but alone I don't think he can push. With Pace still alive and Baron buff being there. But Inhibitor goes down, but that's the end of the Baron power play, and no possible end angle for Gen G, so we're gonna have at least another opportunity.
Oh, second Elder?
I think we're heading towards second Elder for sure. So what is happening here is the setup that comes through initially doesn't look like it's really going to be enough. And then it's the Bard Q that sets up the CC chain that almost kills Chovy. Crypt Bloom healing the rest of T1 so they don't immediately get boomed. Zeus buying a lot of time. And then Pays is lucky. It's good that he hits Oner there, because if Oner ends up staying alive as well...
We've got another chance. We've got another chance.
They do.
They're still in it. Scramble back. Are we okay?
It's fine.
Yeah.
Pace has died once this game.
He has. He's managed to make it out.
Make it out alive.
A few times. Gen G still with all of the control. They should still be the team favored to win.
Yes.
Currently with a 6,000 gold lead or thereabouts.
As well.
Oh, Anathema is now completed for Keen as well. Who do you put it on? They have 4 carries.
Based on his itemization, it's got to be Faker. Or it's Zeus because of the 1v1, but I imagine it's Faker.
Yeah, I'd assume so.
Because Faker does a lot of damage, Atlas.
Oh, yeah.
Canyon.
All right, throwing some kitty cats over. There is the ulti. Oner going to zigzag away, finds the knockup as the tree is going to be stilled for now. They are not able to protect their inner turret.
Faker's pushing by himself, though.
Yeah, trying to pick up some more bounties.
They need a buff. They can't alone deal with this.
All right, Tempered Fate is going to stop the teleport. That means the Faker is able to take down the inner turret. He could look for even more here. As the mini Kevins making their way in, Faker is just going to destroy
the Lich Bane!
He's had the Lich Bane this whole time. It's been there in his inventory. And the Udyr makes it back, but Faker is long gone.
Keria has the flash. Big cooldown gone. That might provide an opportunity for Gen G. T1. Right. It's hit and run, Atlas.
Oh, they are going for some sneaky tactics.
They don't get the inhib, though, crucially. That would have been potentially setting them up for an end where both Zeus and Faker can teleport. I don't think they got a ward either. This pays no boots.
He has no shoes.
Only gameplay.
Oh, yeah. He is collecting now. I don't know whether that would have been my final item, but maybe it had something to do with the amount of gold that he had at the time. Just wants as much lethality as possible. And he's going to do a lot of damage. That is absolutely true. And now Gen.G setting up 20 seconds on the Elder, a minute on the Baron.
It's one team fight. That's all it's going to be, but Gen.G should have the advantage. They have full control of the map right now. Bot lane Inep still pushing supers for the next minute. So they should be able to just start this up.
There are just so many items on everyone.
Keria does have ultimate though. And I don't think there's going to be a way to deny him. They don't even sweep out the pit. There's just full vision of this.
Well, this Elder is dead.
It's just gone.
It's really gone. Oh my god, that was so scary. That was so scary. Okay, Emperor's Divide coming on in here as Chovy gets over the wall. Faker does go into his Zhonya's, but look at even the hail of arrows tearing them apart.
No!
Faker, oh, he gets eaten by the dragon. As now Keen and Zeus fighting, but Zeus is actually winning out on this one. Yeah, you can have your Elder buff.
They need to match Zeus. They can't actually do anything. So Faker's dead. So the main wave clearer is gone. So they're going to try and push through mid. Lahens is going to try and stop the backs, but he can't walk in because he can also very easily die to either Cannon or Bel'Veth. There's no Baron buff, mind you, so Gen.G needs to start an actual fight or poke T1 down. They do have Hextech plus Elder buff. Second Elder buff.
Yeah. They don't have Baron just yet. They can back away and get that if they really want to add to it. But Oner could be caught out of position. Pays with his 1,000,000 items. Raining down the arrows. In goes Lahens once again. There's the Wombo combo. They've taken down the Bel'Veth as well. And I think this is the last gasp for T1. The last one's going to be an ultimate landing from Pays, which is a pretty beautiful way to end it here, as the last Nexus turret will go down and the Nexus will follow. Gen.G, after having so much control all game,